to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alright, hello everybody, this is Show here. Now then, whenever we last left off, Deku, he had just been telling everyone that he was from Aldrich City, from the Red Zone. Now, people wouldn't really question him because he does have the scars to prove it, along with having the wristband. And the teacher being able to confirm because Deku's mother does work with the military. Now, with that being said, let us do a little bit of a time skip. I want to say 3 years will be good. Actually, if Deku is 12, if Deku's going to be 12, let's round that up to 4 years. So Deku will be about 13. Now, over the course of this time, Deku has been learning and mutating a bit. What I mean by mutating is Inko working out of town for the military going into the Red Zone to get more money so she can help Izuku go through school and provide for him in the zone, or this infected zone. As the entire city somewhat got taken over again, with behemoths somewhat ravaging more of the city. I forgot what I was going to say. Now, with that being said, she is going under disguise. Well, using this as a cover, as while she's out of town, Elizabeth Green is showing up a little bit more often, actually trying to train Deku and take him out every night. She would be telling him and explaining to him that there are more evolved around the city. In fact, she ran into one that he would not believe. Now, she wants him to try and find one of them. He will be a bit more tricky though, but he's not the one we're looking for. If you do run into him, hide your face, but that will be different. Now, over the course of this time, Deku has been taken to many different hives. He's been taken to 2, if not 3 hives before, as I want to give him the Hammer Fist. I want to give him the Hammer Fist because he would have taken down an Alpha Hunter at one point during his training. And I also do want to give him a whip and the shield. The shield being this, but you can use it with both arms, and almost completely cover yourself in a shell. Now, the whip, that's a bit different because I want to say you can fling it out to be 40 feet from one arm and pull things in if you need to, along with increasing and enhancing Deku's speed and giving him a bit more experience. Now, Deku is seen as a bit more mature for his age, so different people do look up to him being quirkless and actually very strong. As they are all in the gym one day as Deku, he is running track. Many different people respect him. He's quirkless, but still got spirit. He's been through hell, because they can see the scars on his legs, his torso, and people have even seen the scratches on his back. Those being some of the worst scars they've ever seen. It looks like that boy was torn apart and then ripped back together. Well, torn apart then put back together. So many different people actually don't trying to mess with him. Those who do, Deku just tries to ignore. Now, over the period of time, Deku would be going out this night, as he's trying to find one specific man. Elizabeth would be telling Deku that she can't actually track this man, so they might as well find him. He is considered to be a Master Sergeant, so it'll be Deku's job to absorb him and find out where they need to go. They are trying to create a version of mutants, these ones being a bit more weird, because from what she has heard and seen from absorbing another sergeant, They are somewhat trying to create a virus. They call it the white light virus to counter the blacklight virus. This can be modified and they can give it the side effects they want, the blacklight virus being the exact opposite. So, they have the idea that they can create super soldiers. The project is called Orion. Many different people have seen and actually participated in these tests, with some failures. So they would have to insert a genetic marker to pull out of these people first, which is where the white light virus originally came from, because they were trying to make a vaccine for the blacklight virus, but they came with this. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would turn into one soldier and see everything. As him and Elizabeth Green are sneaking into the base. Deku actually just turning and trying to... Oh my god, it's too hot in here. Deku immediately going to absorb the man, but as soon as he actually does bring his hand up to his back, this is whenever the man would immediately just turn around, grabbing Deku by the shirt and immediately just throw him over his shoulder. As this man just chucked Deku a couple feet. As Deku, he would have done one thing. He would have created a shield underneath him, as he would immediately just start dragging on the ground with it. As he would have used the whip to actually try lashing out at the man. The man immediately grabbing it and wrapping it around his arm, as he creates armor. Saying it's not going to be that easy. Did you really think you can just absorb me? Doubt it. Now, Deku, he's confused. He's never seen anyone make armor besides Elizabeth. So, wait, does that mean... I think I understand it now. As he would look towards Elizabeth and immediately realize that the older you are and the more people you've consumed, the stronger you get. Not just that, if you take enough people in, you can evolve, grow stronger, which interests Deku. He thinks if he can one day get strong enough, he could possibly take down Elizabeth. But he just throws this to the wind, as the man would have immediately began running while he has Deku dragging behind him. Deku would have been using this by just holding his arm underneath him as he's being dragged through traffic. Deku would be smashing into different cars and actually causing quite a bit of damage, as heroes would try to intervene. They would just be watching as the man pulling the whip, he would immediately just jump up into the air and immediately start climbing and running on the rooftop, or on the side of the building. Deku just smashing the building as he actually is laid out, as his arm does get ripped off. Deku immediately screaming as he would just walk to the edge and immediately just turn his hand into a claw, as he tries to regenerate. As soon as a hero tells Deku to put his hands up, Deku would just do one thing. He would do so as he would put his hand up, and immediately just have a tendril shoot out of his stomach. The tendril would shoot out of his stomach and immediately go into the hero's throat. As the hero immediately starts to fall, Deku would just begin absorbing them, as he actually does bring out his tendrils. He immediately covers his body in them as he actually does have them form blades on the ends and begins to have them stab into the wall to climb, immediately chasing after this man. Deku doesn't have the ability to run up walls yet. He is not strong enough or knows how to. It's not something Elizabeth has taught him, but he has found workarounds, somewhat climbing up the building and scaling it just like how Doc Ock would in Spider-Man, as he is going after the man. The man would immediately just be standing on the building as Deku comes up the wall somewhat like a giant spider, and immediately just sets himself down, as the man would just be clapping, telling Deku that that is quite impressive. But it's not going to be enough. Now, as that's being said, there is someone watching. It's not Elizabeth, it's some person. They would immediately just start running up the building as they're actually stabbing into it and actually climbing up with knives, as they would just hide themselves. They seem to have a weird ability. They can hide their presence, but this person would just be watching Deku fight. Deku thinks he gets a whiff of someone, but he just immediately waves it off, as there's probably just military coming in. Now, Deku, he immediately just begins by charging at the man as he actually does transform his hands into claws, and he actually just slashes at the man. Deku immediately sliding off his armor as he does try and uppercut Deku. Deku would have immediately pulled his hand backwards as he would have immediately brought his face forward, trying to bite into his arm. But he actually does turn his teeth into claws, which confused the man, as he's just staring at Deku, who's just holding onto him. He does try and shake Deku loose, but Deku would just do one thing as he tries stabbing into his stomach. He actually does break a claw on his finger as he does somewhat scream and tense up in pain, as he would just do one thing. He would immediately just get punched away as the man starts walking over to Deku, telling him that that's not going to be any use. So what are you going to do? As he just holds his hands up, Deku would immediately start charging forward. He just gets up to full speed as he actually does mutate one more time. He didn't expect this as he did get a little bit faster, immediately just smashing into the man and starting to take him down, as they actually do go flying off of the building, the man still in his armor. He immediately just unhardens himself as he does try to glide down, but Deku smashes into him with his shield as he begins to ride it downward, smashing both of them into the ground. As Deku immediately just brings his hands down, stabbing into the man's back and beginning to absorb him. Doing so, he would immediately look at the man's memories. This is the original Sergeant. He was exposed to he was exposed to white light, but then they altered it. And he just got injected with Blacklight. They have blood samples. Not from Elizabeth Green, but from someone named Alex Mercer. Who the hell is Alex Mercer? As he's just playing these memories in his head. Now, he would immediately just stand up as he is surrounded. He has tanks pointed at him and rifles, along with a lot of military. As soon as this happens, Deku, he would just put his hands up as they tell him to take off his mask and his hood. Deku just shaking his head and just waving his finger. Now, before Deku can even say anything, there is a loud sound. As Deku, he just looks up. There is a person just flying down as fast as they can as they would smash into the tank and immediately rip off the gun. As they do that, they would immediately start swinging it around as they take out a lot of the people wielding guns. And two hunters immediately just come in. Deku, he would immediately be confused as he would just turn his hands into claws, and the hunters, they ignore him. They ignore the person too, as they're just tearing into the military. As this person would immediately just turn their hand, waving the hunters away. And Deku would see them. He's a bit in shock. He would immediately start walking forward as this person would turn their head. He can see their eyes. They're blue. But that's not possible. Wait, who are you? As this person immediately just takes off running. Deku immediately chasing after them. Now, as that is happening, Deku is watching as this person immediately just takes off running and jumps up as high as possible. They immediately jump up to a second story and begin turning their hands into claws as they start climbing. Deku being in shock. This is getting annoying, as Deku would just turn on his tendrils. Immediately forming them in his body, he would immediately start climbing up the wall and moving upwards. As he's scaling through the neighborhood like that, chasing them. Deku, he is able to jump, but this is a bit faster. So he wouldn't need to have to jump to close the gaps. Eventually, we get to the point where Deku gets close enough to where he's actually able to throw out his whip and immediately grab onto this person's arm. But they would have done one thing, as they would have immediately turned, twisting their hand and immediately slicing through a lot of their arm. As they would have gotten free from Deku, but Deku has a chunk. He would immediately just look at this as he does absorb it, seeing if he can find some memory in it. He just finds one simple thing. a location. He's confused. What? Well, it seems like you couldn't catch that one. Okay, do you mind explaining what that was? She's able to order around 2 hunters. I've never seen anything like that. Well, of course you haven't. That is a different mutation. Different mutation? Mind explaining more? Well, I would, but first off, what ability did you get from that guy? Oh, well. Deku, he immediately just looks into his head. He immediately just holds up his hand as he does turn on his armor. As he just says that this looks pretty neat. Ah. Now, another thing. As he would immediately just hold out his shield, immediately looking as he's able to create another one in his hand. He's just enjoying this feeling. This is great. Well, I'm happy you're enjoying that. But we have to go. Huh? As Elizabeth would immediately just look off into the distance, seeing helicopters. As she does so, she immediately walks over, and she picks up one simple thing. She picks up a couch off the top of this roof. As she immediately just holds onto it, immediately just holding out her hand, and immediately just tossing it as far forward as possible. As the couch immediately goes flying forward, smashing into the cockpit of the helicopter, as it goes tumbling to the side, smashing into the one next to it. As she says that that is not going to hold off for very long. They're going to call reinforcements and let's move. As Deku just staring at this, he didn't know she could do that. Kid, I still have a lot to teach you. Now, let's move. As they would leave. Deku, he does find this to be a bit more different. He sees this as a bit more repetitive now. As they would finally get away from the military and camouflage themselves. Deku going over the information on his head that he got from that sergeant and the thing he got from the Evolved. As he would just start looking around. He would find this location as it's actually a school. So, what, is he just supposed to go there and find out what happened? No. If I know this, then how am I supposed to signal them? Well, I guess they should know me when they see me then. As Deku would get a phone call, he would immediately answer it asking, "Hello?" Hello, Midoriya. Oh, hi, Elizabeth. What's up? Well, I need you to meet me here now. Okay, why? I can't tell you that on the phone. Okay, where to? As she would immediately hand out an address. Deku would immediately start making his way there, as he is walking there, trying to avoid going on the rooftops, since it would draw too much suspicion. Now then, as he is doing that, they would immediately arrive. Well, Deku would immediately arrive, as he walks in, seeing one simple person. He sees a man tied to a chair, and a camera. He would just ask exactly what is going on, as she would just say that they need to do one simple thing. They need to send a message. They need to show that they are not afraid. So, what are you doing? Well, first off, turn into that commander. Okay. As she would just watch Deku do so. She would immediately begin recording as she would tell Deku to say these simple words. Now, Deku would begin, as the camera would start. They would just watch as this commander, he walks in the frame, saying that he has been disappointed. They have not delivered the shipment like he wanted, so he does not want to do this. As they would watch the commander walk over to a table and get a drill bit. As he walks over, and the camera immediately just kicks over. As all you hear is screaming in the background, and a puddle come into view. Then, you see the man disappear, and a familiar sound. As he would just say that, you may not have been good for nothing, well, good for much, but the biomass will help me. Now, I do hope everyone here sees that as an example, as the camera would immediately fade to black. Now then, Deku would be told to drop this off at a news station, and that it is going to be good. If they can ruin the military's image, then we can probably force them out of the town, and things will be a bit better. Now then, they need to meet up at this quarantine area. Deku would just say that he will do that, but he needs to go somewhere else first. As he would disguise himself as the commander, drop off the news. Jesus, it's too hot in here. Drop off the package and immediately start heading to the school's location. As he would arrive. Now, he is immediately looking around as he is trying to pay attention to people's eyes. He is himself, and he's just standing outside, as he does try using his hunter's vision. He is just doing so, looking around, and this is whenever someone will walk up to him, asking him why he looks like a fish out of water. Deku immediately using his hunter's vision, finding that she gives off a pulse, saying that he's guessing she's the one who wanted him to meet here. Meet here? Oh, I see. Well, let's go. As she would immediately just take Deku. Deku is walking away with her. As they would walk into an alley, and she would manifest her blades, asking him exactly what does he want. Well, first off, as Deku would just manifest his claws, saying some answers. Why were you following me? Following you? So, you're that one. Ooh, I'm a bit interested now. As she would immediately just turn her hands back to normal, holding her hand out, saying that she is Hinama Toga. It is nice to meet you. You are? Well, this is a surprise. Never met an evolved who is friendly. Well, first time for everything. Now then, that is where I'm going to be leaving this off, guys, and I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.